Hello, hello, hello. Merry Christmas in October. Thanks for stopping by Lifestyle with Melanie Graves, where I share stylish and creative ideas to help you do what makes you happy in your home. Speaking of what makes you happy in your home, I do realize it's October. It's a little early for a Christmas tree, but I love Christmas. It's my jam. It gives me all the feels. It makes me happy. So I do it early. And also, most of you who follow me on this channel follow me for Christmas. So I realize it's early for some of you. I get it. If it is, please exit out of the video at this time. It'll be here waiting for you when you are ready to get your Christmas on, okay? Can't guarantee the products will be here, but the video will be, and all the inspiration you need to make your home beautiful at Christmas. All right, let's jump right on into it. Today, we are decorating this fabulous tree. This is a new tree. This tree is from Balsam Hill. Of course, I am a Balsam Hill brand ambassador. They are sponsoring this video. I have been a longtime customer and huge fan of the Balsam Hill brand. They make absolutely spectacular Christmas trees. There's no other way to describe them. They've got something for everyone, a little bit of something in every budget, and they're really great pieces. So I wanted something a little more substantial this year. So I ordered the Aspen Estate Fir. It comes in several different sizes. She is very full. She is very spirited. She is just fantastic. So let me give you a couple of specs, and then I'm gonna tell you what the plan is for getting her styled for Christmas, okay? All right, the Aspen Estate Fir comes in several different sizes, starting at 9 feet, and it goes all the way up to a 15 foot. 15 foot's just a little bit too much for me, but some of you may have some ceiling height that would call for a tree that tall. This is considered a full shape. In the past, you've seen me do a Vermont white spruce and a slim, which is great for space to get around the tree in this corner of the family room, but I wanted something more like substantial and girthy, body yaddy. So I ordered this one. She has 3,320 lights and a tip count of over 7,500 tips. So there's a lot to be said for this tree. She stands alone. She doesn't need any help from me to be beautiful, which is one of the things I love about the Balsam Hill trees. But I'm going to decorate her anyway, because that is the fun part. Let's talk about tree shape real quick, because I think this is overlooked a lot on some of the videos that we see for Christmas. I think we should give the tree its due diligence in kind of studying what it's supposed to look like in nature, because a lot of the designer trees that you'll see, they have those trees shaped properly, for lack of a better term. So for example, last couple years, I've shown Vermont white spruce. Those tips tend to kind of go up toward the sun in nature. This fir, the tips are heavy and they tend to kind of point down like you see there. So take your time when you're shaping your tree. It's something that it does take a little more time, especially when it's a brand new tree out of the box like this one. As you use it over and over again, it'll be easier to shape. But when it comes in that box that first year, every single branch is very compressed. So you've got to really open it up. This tree has actually been sitting open here for a week so that I could look at it and get it shaped out properly. So tip number one, take your time and shape your tree the right way. Another good tip is that if your branch has 3 tips on the end, like you see here, there's usually one longer one. Put that longer one in the middle of the 3 when you're shaping your tree. And another thing that you may want to keep an eye out for is the covering on your tree lights. Make sure it's glass and not plastic. It makes for a beautiful light display. All right, now let's talk about tree design. In the past, I have known what my tree design was going to be usually by like March or April. That did not happen this year for the first time in a very long time. And really, until I got the tree, I had no idea what I was doing. The only thing I knew for sure is that I was going to use this tree topper that I made here on YouTube a few years ago. I'll link that video. But I like it because, well, I made it and it's beautiful. It's got Swarovski crystals and lots of earth tone pearls that really play well if you want to do, you know, reds or neutrals. It's just gorgeous. And of course, it's our initial G. And so I knew I was going to use this again. I used it last year with reds. I'm going to use it this year with neutrals. So I knew that for sure. The other thing I love is I love myself some D. Stevens ribbon. I've been sharing, you know, these fancy ribbons with you for a long time. They are very easy to shape, and it doesn't have to be D. Stevens. What it really needs to be is wired if you're looking to really do some fun things with your ribbon in a tree. But when this ribbon got here, it's beautiful, but it doesn't feel like it fits in this tree for me this year. I don't know why. I opened up one and I started playing with it and I was just like, I don't know. So the other thing I noticed this year that's trending is the neutrals are trending, that woodland feel is trending, the Grinch is also trending. This tree is just too big to do anything Grinch worthy, but maybe we'll do something like that in another tree in the house. Let me know in the comments if that's something you'd really like to see. But that being said, I knew this year I wanted to try to challenge myself. The stone in our fireplace has a lot of grays and neutrals. It really pulls towards both sides of the color wheel. And so I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can do something with that gray and still make it feel festive. And then I ran into this ribbon. This is a Duchess satin, and the color is called Portobello. It's gorgeous, but it's not wired. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just try something new. So all that to say, all the techniques you've seen me show you in the past, I'm completely changing it up this year. I'm trying a new ribbon technique that I saw used in a tree at the Gaylord Palms a couple years ago. And it was basically like just tails. There were no real loops or shaping or cascades involved. So I'm gonna try that. And that's it. And then let me tell you my last inspiration piece that I picked up the other day in Home Goods. So for those of you who are watching early, these are in Home Goods right now. It's a bunch of frosted pine cones. It's 3 different stems, but look how it's packaged. It's already in a nice bouquet. So you know what? I think these are going to be my statement pieces. You could take them apart. I may take one apart towards the top of the tree, but I think these are going to be what I designed the tree around. All right, so we'll figure it out together. This was $9.99, so not bad for a bunch of these. So I'm excited to start with. Didn't want to do that. So I'm excited to start with this. And we'll go from there. So I had ordered a couple other things, like this pick, which is just stunning. Like, it's so pretty. But again, this tree is just not giving me, this is like elegant vibes. This tree is giving me natural vibes. So I'm gonna pull back from using so much ribbon. I'm gonna use a lot of picks this year, and then we're gonna do something new with that ribbon that I just showed you. So I always start at the top of my tree because when you start at the bottom, especially with trees this tall, you knock your ornaments over when you get up there. So I start from the top and work my way down. So I'm gonna get up there and get this G installed and try to put a little magic around the bottom of it. I don't want a big party screaming behind this thing. It just, I like for it to kind of stand alone. So I'll make like a really subtle topper underneath that just kind of make it look like it's floating in the tree. All right, let's do it. All right, I've officially broken a sweat. I've got the topper pretty established. It's not done yet, but it's pretty established. So now I'm gonna go through, I have these picks to give the tree some texture. Hi, it's okay. My daughter just got home. So I've gotten these picks to give the tree some texture. Just the same color, just a solid color green pick is a great way to do that, add in some variation. So these are gonna go in single at the top. And then as we come down, as these branches get longer, the tree gets wider, I'll kind of stack them. There's another one. So you see how I'm using just green on green on green, green on green on green, to just give some variation and extra depth to the tree without having to add any ribbon. Okay, so let's give it a try. And another quick tip, when you're installing greenery picks, you want to weave them into the branch of the Christmas tree so that they look like, you know, they're a natural part of the tree. You don't have to weave in all types of picks, but it makes for a really nice presentation for the greenery ones when you take an extra minute to do that. And look at how pretty that looks. You can barely tell which part was added in and which part was already there. So now it's time to add in my statement ornaments, my big ornaments that I'm going to use, which I found those frosted pine cones. And I like to create a triangle shape. So you can see I started at the tip. Now I'm putting one on the second corner and then the third corner, and I'll repeat that at the bottom of the tree. After that, I'm going to start adding in my ornaments. Okay, so I think I'm on day 3, and this tree is actually giving me a challenge because, one, I'm trying to just accentuate like the natural beauty of the branches and the way that they flow out and not overdo it with the ornaments. But there's so many tips that the amount of ornaments that I've used so far, I feel like it looks like it's not enough. But I'm not done. So what I'm gonna do is finish what I have planned out already. And then if I feel like it's still not enough, then I can go back and fill in. But next, so I've done all my color blocking. I've gotten all of my, I've used champagnes, some golds, some browns, a couple of coppers, all throughout the tree, and kind of tucked it into those spots that are deep. So they're not hanging off the branches. I really want the branches to be the ornament. That's my goal. But I found, so these were at Hobby Lobby. They're actually fall picks, but the color was perfect for what I have going on in here. So they were practically giving it away. So I bought a bunch of them. And now I'm gonna go through and go ahead and give this tree a little extra layer of color. And we'll go from there. Keep in mind that decorating a green tree with neutral colors can be a little tricky. So you want to create points of contrast where, say, if you have like a dark ornament like I'm using here, you'll want to come back through and put something light next to it. Otherwise, what's going to happen is that in your pictures, it's going to look like there are lots of dark spaces in the tree, and we don't want that. So that's what I'm going back through and doing now. Anywhere I have something dark, I'm trying to put something light right next to it. Like these. Remember these in the beginning of the video I didn't think I was going to use? Ended up using every single one of them. They'll be linked for you. They came out perfect. They actually saved me, so I'm glad I had them. Then to add a little more sparkle, I pulled these out of the bin. You can see I've used them several times really, but they're great because they don't take up too much space, but they add a layer of sparkle. So I'm going to weave those in next. Another thing that I find helpful to do, especially when I'm decorating a 12-foot tree, is I'll use some painter's tape and I'll step back from the tree, go look at my bare spots, and then mark them with tape before I get back on the ladder so I know where the areas are. The only thing is you need to count how many pieces of tape you're using at the beginning and make sure you've pulled down that many pieces of tape at the end. So I'm using 10 pieces of tape. And by the end, I need to have 10 pieces of tape back down on my countertop. I hope that makes sense. Basically, you don't want to leave any tape in the tree. So count how many pieces you have before. Make sure you have the same amount afterwards. And finally, my favorite part, the ribbon application. I just love putting ribbon on the tree. It just makes everything feel so finished. Look at how beautiful that is. And to create this look, I didn't have a technique. I used a staple. And it didn't really matter because I was tucking in that part of the ribbon that the staple was into the tree so you wouldn't be able to see it. Okay, how about a look? Let's see how it all turned out. I'll have all the Balsam Hill products linked in the description. And then in a couple weeks, I'm doing another tree video and I will have a discount code for you. So stay tuned for that too. Okay, everyone, that is it for today's video. I hope you got at least one new idea or learned one thing that you didn't know. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Come back for the next video. We will be styling the garland. Merry Christmas, love and peace.